Hello friends and welcome to this video. So in this one, I want to touch on the differences between physical products and digital products. So if you're looking to start your own product-based online business, then this video is for you because there's two massive differences between the two options here. Obviously with physical products, we've got a tangible item that we ship out to the customers. But not only that, we need to order the stock from the supplier, which can be a very difficult process, right? We need to order samples, we need to order the actual bulk, we need to store that stock somewhere, and then we need to send that stock out. With digital products, you don't have a lot of the headaches that you do with physical. You're not speaking to Chinese suppliers, you're not holding that stock. You're essentially creating a product digitally that you can make once and sell as many times as you want. Because if you think about the way that these products are delivered, this could be in the form of just a simple download. This could be, access to some sort of video, some sort of course, some sort of program. So it's less tangible, but it's way more efficient and scalable. So the two differences are an important choice because I believe, it all depends on the person's level of risk they want to take and also the capital that you're willing to invest, because you can't build a physical product brand without having some level of investment, right? You need capital. You need to buy the actual stock. You need to go through that process of testing samples, of, trial and error, of trying to find and build a product that you're happy with. And ultimately, you still need to pay for, if you're going to ship that product from somewhere, where's it going to be stored? Are you going to be using your spare bedroom? Are you going to be storing it in the garage? Are you going to be using a 3PL, which is a fulfillment center where we can send our stock to, and then they ship it on our behalf? But of course that comes with extra costs because they need to store it, and then of course you need to pay someone to actually pack the orders and then send the orders. So not only that, but you've got the shipping cost. So shipping from China to wherever you're going to store that product, but also the shipping cost from where you're storing the product to the customer. So these are all extra fees that people don't think about, or they don't talk about when when we're discussing building brands. Digital products is fantastic because you don't need to print off any labels. You don't need to pack any orders. You don't need to store that product. It just lives on the internet, right? It's so efficient. It's so scalable and high profit margins. It's just unbelievable, the opportunity with digital products right now. And I don't think enough people are talking about this. I think it's a great opportunity for people to get into online business without taking a huge risk, because even if all things go well with your physical product brand, there's going to be things that also go wrong, right? I remember in our brand when we first started, we really struggled to get the samples right. We had multiple different suppliers, multiple different samples, multiple different variations of those samples. So by the end of it, we had spent thousands of pounds on sampling the product before we even paid for the bulk order. So as you can imagine, that cost adds up really quick and it's very time consuming. It's not an easy process to order samples from a supplier. Let's say, for example, your supplier is based in China, which is most likely where we're going to be aiming for when it comes to building a physical product brand, because it's just far too expensive to get these products made in the country that we're in, right? If we're in United States, for example, or United Kingdom, products are a lot more expensive to get manufactured there. So we look to get certain types of products manufactured from overseas in countries like China. It's far cheaper. They're actually a lot better at creating these products as well. They've got the machinery, they've got the infrastructure to actually do this at a fraction of the cost. So that process is long because China's not close. It takes weeks to get these products made and shipped to us. And then when we've got the bulk order, you've got a few different shipping options. Obviously, you've got air shipping, you've got freight shipping, and then you've got sea shipping. So, train, air, and sea essentially. And the different timescales. Let's say, for example, your cargo ship will take the longest, right? Because it's got to go across the sea. Air shipping is a lot quicker, but it's also a lot more expensive because you pay by the weight, and the bigger your bulk order is, obviously the more it's going to weigh. So there's all these extra factors that we need to think about when we're building a product-based brand. Do we go physical or do we want to go digital? They're the two main options, right? Obviously, you can't build every brand. For example, if you wanted to bring out a clothing brand, it needs to be physical, right? There's no chance you're going to create some sort of digital clothing brand. Obviously, it needs to be physical. So there's certain types of businesses, certain types of niches, certain types of products that need to be physical. When we're thinking about digital products, these are more things like packaging information, selling information. So these could be like ebooks, templates, tools, courses, softwares, anything in the form where you can deliver it digitally. So this is also why it's fantastic for beginners, because I always push people to create a digital product around something they're passionate about or something they have knowledge in. So if you've lived experiences in your life, if you've gained knowledge, you can package that information and sell it to someone who's looking to learn the thing that you know. You're essentially shortcutting someone's journey, right? So let's say, for example, they're in a position now where they want to go from A to B and you're already at B. So you can shortcut that process for them, package the information that you've learned over a number of years, and you can help them get the same result that you did in a much shorter space of time. So that's the best way to look at digital products. It's a fantastic business model. It's highly scalable. It's highly profitable, because if you think about you're eliminating the cost of goods, you're eliminating all the extra fees in regards to shipping. So, the only expense, the only real cost would be the platform fee. So your transaction fees when someone purchases, which by the way are really cheap, but also the advertising cost. But you still have those advertising costs with physical products. So if you look at it like that, you're eliminating the cost of goods, you're eliminating the shipping cost, the all the stocks, all the cost included in holding that stock, and you've got a nice, lean, clean business model that's highly scalable, highly profitable, and enjoyable. The more friction we can take away, the more enjoyable the business is going to be. So I do both business models, so I can see the massive differences between the two. Now, there's nothing wrong with either business model. Like, having a physical item is great. You have it in your hands, it gets delivered to your doorstep. You can feel it, you can smell it, you can taste it, right? You can wear it, whatever the product is. But the point is, it's a tangible item that you can hold in your hand. So in some cases, physical product brands are a lot better for things like UGC, because obviously, you're delivering a product to a customer, they can get photos of it, they can do reviews of it and things like that. So it's great from that aspect. Digital products are slightly harder to get that same result. It's harder to get that UGC sort of feeling, depending on what sort of business or product that we're selling. So I think it's really important to look at the level of risk in each business. So for example, with physical products, like we discussed, all the extra cost. So let's say, for example, when I first started my physical product brand, we were selling dog accessories. Now, when we started, we wasn't sure how much stock that we actually would need or how many designs to bring out. So we brought out designs that we weren't really sure about, because at the time we just thought we needed to pack our website out full of all these different variants, all these different products, right? But we ordered products not knowing whether they were going to be popular. So we had, in our spare bedroom when we first started, we had tons and tons of like dog accessories, like harnesses, leads, collars, in a certain particular design that were just sat there. They were just sat there for months on end. We couldn't sell them. We had one design which sold like almost instantly. People loved it. But that these other designs, these other products we had, just ended up sitting there for over 6 months because we just couldn't sell them. We basically had to give them away in the end at such a fraction of the cost that we would like to have sold them for. But this is sometimes part and parcel of building a physical product brand. You need to take risk, right? And if you don't take those risks, you'll never know which products are the popular ones. But you don't want to, at the same point, you don't want to be lumbered with all this stock that's not selling, because this massively like affects your cash flow. If you're not selling that stock, if you've not got money in the bank every single month to purchase the designs that are selling well, the products that are selling well, or reinvest into new products, you're essentially just buying stock, it's sat there, not selling, all your cash flow is locked up in that product. And it puts you in a bit of a hole, because now you need to, leverage more of your capital to keep testing new designs. So the point I'm making with digital products, you don't have this, because you're creating the product once and you can sell it as many times as you want. So the only thing you're risking is your time, right? Let's say, for example, we're going to create a simple guide or a simple ebook. We're just going to be using simple tools like Canva. We could even use Google Sheets or Google Docs, Word document, anything like that. But the point is, we're only investing into the softwares that we're using. So Canva, I'm not sure how much it is. I think it's like $12.99 a month. But we're just using our time and simple softwares to create these products, especially at the start. I'm not saying go away and build a full course with loads of cameras and studios, because obviously you're going to need to invest a little bit of money there. But with like an ebook or templates, tools, guides, things like that, you can make these super, super cheap, and it's just going to cost you your time. So if it goes wrong, and if you're struggling to get sales and you find that, it's just not selling at all, then what's it really cost you? It's just cost you your time. But at the end of the day, it's all down to the person, because you might be someone with tons of capital and you're willing to take that risk and build a proper physical product brand. Or maybe you're someone who has more time but less capital. And that's where digital products are great, right? You don't need to go and get a loan to go and get loads of stock. You can just build this product in your spare time and then start selling it. And this will actually help you get capital to then fund a physical product brand if that's something you wanted to do. So, because that's a great way to do it, right? You're essentially building a nice, highly scalable, high profit margin, lean business model with no risk. Every bit of money you make, then you can invest that into your physical product brand, and you can actually build something. And then you don't need to leverage any debt. You don't need to take on any, stress. You can just build it with the money you've made from the digital side. And then there's the other sort of business model where you can kind of combine the two. So this is great for certain niches, certain products, but you could say, for example, you could sell like, let's say baby accessories, right? Baby accessories, but you could also sell like guides for parents to, I don't know, like sleep guides or things to do with the babies. Right, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but the point is you could combine the two. So you can have a store selling accessories for babies, but also selling these informative ebooks or classes or guides to help parents with the problem that they have. Because most people in a certain niche, most people in niches have problems, right? It doesn't matter what niche it is, there's going to be problems. The three biggest niches are health, wealth, and relationships. People care a lot about those three niches. They're the three biggest niches, the most amount of money in those niches. So if you're going to build any sort of brand, let's say digital product brand, pick one of those three niches. If you're going to build a physical product brand, then we need to look at what we call evergreen niches. So again, the pet niche, the baby niche, the home niche, anything where people are constantly buying all year round, because we don't want to get on a trend, because trends go up and down, right? They fade in and out. They're popular for a few months, even sometimes like a few weeks, and then they die off. So if we've invested all this money, invested all this time into building an incredible Shopify store, we've got all the stock, we've done all the studio photography, we've set it up, and then all of a sudden the trend starts to die out. We're now stuck with the stock, we're stuck with a website that's not converting, and nobody wants the product because it's now not trendy. However, if we build a brand around an evergreen niche, then this allows us to, you're not going in those dips, you're consistent all year round. And that's why I like the pet niche, that's why I like the baby niche, because people are always having babies. Obviously, dogs are getting more popular than ever. Home niche is great because people are always buying homes, they're always buying things for their homes. So they're pretty safe niches, right? There's many more, but let's just stick with those three for now. They're powerful niches, they're popular all year round, you can make a lot of money in them, people are always buying stuff in those niches. So you can be fairly consistent throughout the year, so you don't have these massive dips in your sales. And then combine that with some sort of digital product to really level up. And this, you could even look at this as, for example, what I'm teaching people to do inside my community is if they have a physical product brand and they have a poor offer, for example, let's say then their conversion rate is a little bit low, like people don't like the offer they have on their store. We could implement a digital product into the physical product offer. So let's say, for example, free ebook worth $12.99, but free when you buy this bundle. So that's improving the offer. And as Alex Hormozi says, if you create an offer so good that people feel stupid saying no, then this massively will increase your conversion rate because more people are going to buy. So you're going to make more profit from the traffic that you're already getting. So it's a great way to combine the two. I'm just giving you some examples of how you can kind of mix the two and ultimately make more money. So they're the two options really. I mean, like I said, it's dependent on what sort of capital you have and what level of risk you're willing to take. They're two different business models, but also they're very similar in some ways because, you know, we're dependent on what we're selling. Let's say if we're selling like templates, tools, we could build a Shopify store for that. So not everyone inside my community is using Shopify stores for their digital products. For example, some of my digital products, I just have a simple landing page. So if we're selling lots of digital products, let's say we're selling lots of different templates and guides and tools, obviously this is where a Shopify store is probably more efficient because we can have a nice branded store. The same thing we do for physical products, but the only difference is we're uploading these products onto Shopify as a digital download. So when the customer orders, they can download that product straight away into their inbox. It also gets sent to them via email. And the only, you know, with physical products, the only difference is rather than that happening, we're fulfilling the order ourselves and we're shipping the order to the customer's house. And they're the two options I have inside my community. So if you want to learn more, then I'll put the link in the description. But at the moment, I'm working with people to build digital and physical product brands and also help people overcome bottlenecks if they're already building a business or already have a business, but they're struggling to get sales, or maybe they're stuck at a certain revenue number, let's say like 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month. The community that I've put together is about helping people get past those humps in the road and allowing them to scale to crazy numbers, right? And if you don't want to join that community, I've also got a free community where I'm trying to add loads of free value to help people get started with selling products online. It's a great business model. It's a great opportunity right now to leverage the internet, leverage AI, leverage social media. And it's a fantastic time to do this. So if you're interested, I'll put the link down below. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.